Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. I'm an SEO, developer, affiliate marketer and entrepreneur. I've been building and monetising websites for over 20 years and I've bought and sold a few along the way. I'm here to share with you the SEO knowledge, hints and tips I've built up over the years. Hello, it's Ed here. Welcome to this latest episode of SEO is Not That Hard. Today I'm going to talk a bit about the Google API leak that's happened recently and what we can learn from EEAT with it. Now, if you're not familiar with EEAT, that's the concept of experience, expertise, authority and trust. Now, this is a sort of framework / model that Google use within their Google search rater guidelines. Now, Google have, I think it's about 15,000 or so Google raters that they employ around the world to analyze websites and rate them on page quality and expertise and things like that. I did a whole series of episodes on the Google quality raters and the guidelines they follow from episodes 27 to 34. So if you go back and listen to them if you're not familiar with the Google quality raters and the guidelines they work to. But the core of the guidelines, the raters have to think of pages in terms of experience, expertise, authoritativeness and trust. That's the EEAT in the acronym. Now, experience is considering the extent to which a content creator has the necessary first-hand experience or life experience for the topic. Expertise is considering whether the extent the content creator has the necessary knowledge or skills for the topic. So a bit like experience, but slightly different. Then authoritativeness is whether to what extent the content creator or the website is like a go-to source for the topic. Doesn't have to be an official one, but they just have to be like very authoritative. And then trust is the final one and the most important one. And it's like, can you trust this person? They're not going to cause you any harm. They are providing you good, trustworthy information. So this is the core thing that Google essentially wants to find and provide pages that have, all of these 4 key attributes. Now, they use the quality raters to rate a set of pages and queries, where it starts with queries. They've got, I think, 15,000 queries, and they have the Google raters review all the results that come up for those queries in terms of this EEAT. And they're trying to obviously make sure that whenever they do new changes to their algorithm, they can test them against this data set that the quality raters have provided and to see whether their changes work within that context. And then obviously at that point, Google wants to be able to have a model where they can see, for any site, they want to be able to judge its EEAT algorithmically because they can't go around the whole of the internet and judge it manually with real humans. It's just an impossible task. So they're trying to take that data set that the Google quality raters have created and put it through a machine learning model and apply it to the rest of the internet. Now, there's a lot of, in the past however many years EEAT has been going on, there's been a lot of people going, it's nonsense. They can't judge EEAT. It's not a thing. It's just propaganda. Now, looking at this Google leak that's happened recently and comparing it to the Google rater guidelines, we've been able to see where there's crossover. So there's things in the Google API leak that clearly relate to concepts in the Google quality guidelines. So we'll go through this. We've actually done a full guide on this, a full written guide, and I will put in the show notes a link to how you can go and read the full guide. It shows you all the attributes, it shows you all the quotes and images, and we've pulled it all out into one thing. But this podcast is really just to discuss the same kind of core concepts. Okay, so let's look at some of the bits in the API docs compared to quotes in the Google search quality guidelines. Now, the first one we came across is where there's this quote from the guidelines. For example, you may be able to tell someone's an expert in hairstyling by watching a video of them in action styling someone's hair and reading others' comments. Commenters often highlight expertise or lack thereof. Now, that's an instruction to Google quality raters to go and try and find these people on YouTube videos who have created a website or a web page and see what people are saying about them. Now, in the API docs, there are some modules all about YouTube, but they don't go into full detail on all of YouTube's functionality. They only cover certain things. And one that we noticed is entity sentiment. Now, the entity that I'm going to is entities in the, we think in the Google Knowledge Graph. So if you're a person or an organization in the Google Knowledge Graph, and it relates you to YouTube videos, it will then look at the comments and look at the comment sentiment for any comments against your videos, and then decide what the score of that content sentiment is, whether it's good, bad, middling, whatever, which is an interesting concept. This means that possibly it's a way of Google finding out what your level of expertise is based on people commenting on your YouTube videos. So I know it's maybe niche, not everybody creates YouTube videos and has comments on them like this, but it appears to be something they're definitely trying to do programmatically. Next, we looked at if we could find signals where they are looking at the quality of the main content on a page. Now, Google says in the document that the quality of the main content should be listed as the lowest if a page is hacked, defaced, or spammed. The page is gibberish or otherwise makes no sense. The main content is copied, auto-generated, or otherwise created without adequate effort. The main content is created with so little effort, originality, talent, or skill that the page fails to achieve its purpose. So we looked at some of these. So the page is hacked, defaced, or spammed. There is a spam Muppet signal, and this contains hacked site signals, which will be used, it says, in query time join. So this means basically, if there are hacked site signals, then they're going to be recorded and put in this attribute. So they're definitely looking for hacking there. The page is gibberish or otherwise makes no sense. There is a gibberish score. Literally, a gibberish score is one of the attributes. So they obviously are qualifying content and deciding whether it's gibberish or not. The main content is copied, auto-generated, or otherwise created without adequate effort. Now, there's a couple here. There is one called copycat score, which is an integer score. So that's obviously where they're scoring content about whether it is copied from another source. And there's another one called content effort, which is an effort estimation for article pages. So therefore, they're obviously at some point algorithmically looking at pages and saying what kind of effort has been put into this. So that's all interesting. So obviously they are at some point algorithmically working out all these things. So those EEAT type signals are being scored against all documents. Now, another interesting one we found is they don't like page titles that are misleading, shocking, or exaggerated. And there is an attribute, well, one of the modules is actually just called bad title info, which is a score and a type. So, you know, they're definitely looking at titles. And if they decide it's a bad title, maybe it's too clickbaity, something like that, then they are definitely going to score it down. Next, we started to look to see if we could find anything around ads, because although the Google search quality guidelines do say that it's fine for people to monetize pages with ads, it's not got to be intrusive. And they deliberately say one of the things is the main content is deliberately obstructed or obscured due to ads, supplementary content, interstitial pages, download links, or other content that is beneficial to the website owner but not necessary to the website visitor. So this is where you've gone too far with ads, essentially the same. Now, we found a whole number of places where they talk about these kind of things. So we've got desktop interstitials. So they're definitely recording when on a desktop you've got interstitial adverts coming in. They have a clutter score. So this is and they say this is a comment directly from the API, penalizing sites with a large number of distracting/annoying resources loaded by the page. So they've definitely got something there when it comes to having too much going on. They've got another one called ad density interstitial violation strength. So again, this is, and in their own comments, they say it indicates if the page is violating mobile ads density interstitial policy and the violation strength. So this is like saying how far you're violating whatever their policy is and how far past it you're going. And they've got another one, violates mobile interstitial policy. So again, you know, there's several modules and parameters here related to different types of interstitials and adverts. So, and this clutter score which is an interesting one, penalising sites with a large number of distracting and annoying resources. So definitely there at some point you can overdo it with ads by the looks of it. The next quote we've got from Google Quality Guidelines is, "The page is deliberately created with such low quality main content that it fails to achieve any purpose." And in the compressed quality signals module, there is an attribute low quality, which, I mean, what can it mean apart from low quality of that quality signal? And the final one I'm going to cover today from this quote: "Originality. Consider the extent to which the content offers unique, original content that is not available on other websites. If other websites have similar content, consider whether the page is the original source." They've got in one of the modules a original content score. Now this, it's clearly Google measuring how original this content is compared to everything else out there. So again, this is something they're clearly algorithmically trying to do based on EE8. One final thing I also want to add into the consideration here is that obviously part of authority and trust we know comes from backlinks, PageRank from backlinks, and the link graph itself. So although the things I've spoke about so far are probably machine learning based attributes, there's going to be other attributes into EE80 which are more likely to be around those link-based metrics, because nothing says trust better than high quality backlinks. We've seen in other parts of the Google API leak how they attribute the quality of links. I spoke about in the podcast a couple of days ago about whether it's a high quality link, a medium quality link, or a low quality link. And if you get lots of high quality links, that's obviously going to build into the trust and authoritative section as this as well. But it's interesting to see from these that Google clearly attempting to measure EE80 algorithmically based on the training data set that they get from their army of Google quality raters. Now, the output from these algorithms combined with the link graph and PageRank, can quite easily be used as an algorithmic approximation for EE80. But will it be as perfect as a human evaluation? Well, possibly not. But it's an impossible task to human review every web page and website, whereas algorithmically, these evaluations can be operated at scale to achieve the task, and we can see how aspects can be related back to from the Google API docs to those quality rater guidelines. So, there's probably more that can be done in research of this, but I think it's clearly giving more evidence to how Google are algorithmically implementing EE80. Now, I do suggest go to the show notes, find the link to the article that we've posted on keywords people use that covers this in detail, because it covers everything I've just talked to you about. It shows images from the API leaks where we've underlined exactly each element, links to the API documents, so you can go and sort of give it your own thought. And there's plenty more in there, more than I've covered just talking about it for a few minutes. So please do go and look at that. And until next time, I'll see you later. Before I go, I just wanted to let you know that if you'd like a personal demo of our tools at Keywords People Use, that you can book a free, no obligation, one-on-one video call with me, where I'll show you how we can help you level up your content by finding and answering the questions your audience actually have. You can also ask me any SEO questions you have. You just need to go to keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, where you can pick a time and date that suits you for us to catch up. Once again, that's keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, and you can also find that link in the show notes of today's episode. Hope to chat with you soon. Thanks for being a listener. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share. It really helps. SEO is not that hard. It's brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day. Try it today for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. To get an instant hit of more SEO tips, then find the link to download a free copy of my 101 quick SEO tips in the show notes of today's episode. If you want to get in touch, have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel5 on Twitter. You can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.